Good morning, everyone. It is Throat Punch Thursday, September 16th. Here's a look at our futures. You can see that we're getting a little bit of a pullback here in the futures as we go into the session now before the market opens in about half an hour from now at 8:30. We have a lot of economic data coming out, and I think that's kind of why we're floating around down a little bit. We're down about 40-ish points in the Dow, 45 in the NASDAQ. So pretty, I would say neutral, considering we do have all of this data coming out. So every morning I do post what is happening on the economic calendar. Oh, well, let's try that again. I don't know if I can get that thing to open up. Let's try that one more time. There we go. I know, have Jack talking in the background. Here we go. Here's the economic, Jack, shh. Here's the economic calendar for today. So we have, of course, every Thursday we have the initial jobless claims, but retail sales and inventories, retail sales coming up is a really big one, some inventories. So these are some pretty big numbers that we're looking to see how these retail sales actually continue on over the last several months. The initial claims, don't forget last week is when, 2 weeks ago is when we stopped the jobless benefits. So we'll also see how that factors into these initial claims here as we, as we move out of all of the pandemic benefits, right? We have to get people back to work. And I don't know about you, but every time I go anywhere, everybody seems to be hiring. So there's actually more jobs open than people that have been looking for jobs. So kind of interesting situation. I'm not sure how often that has ever happened. But anyway, here we are taking a little break in the market. Beautiful move yesterday. We came right back up, pushed our way, very nicely yesterday, closed very close to high of day. Just a good look, good rally up off of that 50. Now that we can see that this almost seems like it might be coming a little bit sooner than it had been. We had been making these lows to the 50 about right around options expiration, which we do have tomorrow. So kind of falling in line. However, instead of it being a pretty quick drop, we kind of melted down, and now we're trying to make our way back up. And Bitcoin, we've been watching Bitcoin here, and this just following suit as well. We've now in the overnight market have bounced that 20. We'll see if we get the continuation. 50,000 being the next big marker there. Okay, that being said, keep in mind that these numbers can definitely, the economic data that's coming out can definitely move us, so be very cautious. But here's a few for today. A few that we were watching from yesterday. eBay made a beautiful move. I'm now looking for eBay to make a move above the 20, so that would be the eBay 75s. A lot of these you can look at in October and November. So choose which suits your style. PLTR is another one that we watched. It broke this trend line that we had in here so beautifully. It just had some news. So I don't know. It's bumped up just a little bit. It is above 27. 27 is kind of the line in the sand. I like it. Anything over 27, but then the break of 27.50 is pretty crucial to get any action out of it. I like the PLTR 27s and 28s. Disney. Ooh. The Mouse House making a nice little move yesterday, looking for some continuation on that. We've actually had a nice little trend change, overall trend change in the Mouse House, right? This has been pretty flat. So other than this candle, this one candle from earnings, we continued our pattern here of just kind of consolidating, and we've now broke that pattern. We want to see if we hold this trend line and then continue on up. In Disney, I would take a look at the 185s. Affirm's another one we've talked about quite a bit here recently, and I love this. Look at this. We have an inside candle. When we see these patterns that get super tight like this and price action, actually I take that back. That first one may not be an inside candle. I can't quite tell at the tail there. But I love these little, you call them a pennant or a wedge. I kind of like pie, but hey, whatever you call it. Kind of looks like a fishtail here. You call it what you will. Love the look of this. So the break of this, whether it's up or down, should be a pretty significant move. We do have a bullish gap sitting down here. Actually, we have two of them sitting down here. A firm has partnered up with a lot of people, whether it be Walmart and Amazon and everybody buy now, pay later, which I will tell you, little piece of advice, is not the smart way to go unless you absolutely have to. And oftentimes if we look at it, do we absolutely have to? Probably not. Pay cash. Get it out of the way. Okay, so yep, that was my little soapbox moment there. AFRM looking at the 110s. Plan. Big bullish gap here after earnings. Ooh. Nice bullish gap here after earnings. We're up over the 200. We came back in, took a little bit of a break, put in a nice little level here at the 64 mark, and making a little move back on up. I actually like these at the 70. The 70 in October for Plan. So a nice one that hasn't been on the list here for a while. And what about Baxter? Baxter International here. A few healthcares were doing okay yesterday. So we're gonna watch this and see if we get a continued move in this big bullish gap up over the 200. We came back, tested the 200, continuing on here. Definitely breaking quite the downtrend, right? We can see that we've definitely broke that downtrend, and now we're looking for continuation. I like it up there to about the 85. We are looking at the Baxter 85 and then continuation through that. Really don't see, other than this fib line, don't see resistance then until we come up into about 86.50 area. All right, so that's back. Something just a little different on our list. Marriott, here's another one. So this, a couple different trend lines you can draw here. So we have that one. We finally broke it. We've broken it before. We want to see that continuation, and then boom. So kind of a little megaphone look here. The hotels have actually started doing fairly well. You can see HLT is another one, starting to make some good moves. I chose Marriott here because it does have, it's not just breaking the highs, it has some room here. I would say an initial look would be about 148, about 148.50 here before we hit this next volume shelf, and then above 150 would be the next play toward that 159. So some good room there in Marriott. I like the 145s. A couple that we have been watching, Dash, this one got an upgrade, so it's going to continue moving on here this morning, or as of right now, it's continuing to move on. Airbnb, looking at hotels, well, you got to look at Airbnb. I think we talk about this, it feels like every day, but keep an eye on this. I like this shorter term. I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. I like this shorter term trend line that we have just ahead. A little bit of resistance, but then I really think a break of that 168.50, 169 mark is really going to open us up here in ABNB. So take a look at that. MRNA had some news after the close yesterday. It was seriously, I hadn't even had a chance to walk away from the computer. Watch for continuation in MRNA. I know some of you are in this. BNTX, love this. This I drew out right at the end of the day. Look at that. We have this trend line, a break of that trend line. Looks like we're going to move above that here this morning. Remember, if there is a nice move on these, have a good plan. Either wait for a touchback or for a opening range break is always a good way to go. Texas Instruments continues to stay on our list. It made all-time highs yesterday, so watch for continued breakout. And NVDA. So NVDA, really nice look here after earnings. Has taken a little bit of a break, tapped the 20. We have a nice little squeeze with the 3 and 8 here. Like the look in the video. Has to get that real push though, right? Has to have some good volume to push it along. When it does move, it moves incredibly quickly, especially in their options. So whether that's good or bad against you. But NVDA, I like the 225s. Now another area to just take a look into is the energies. Energies have been doing well. So FANG, HES, EOG, COG, look at that chart. COP, yeah, I see a lot of C's. I swear I did make it past the C's. There's a lot in the energy space to take a look at. So take a look here, see if we do get that follow through today. Snow's another one we were watching yesterday. Excuse me. Nice look here. Let me flip this back so the chart's not quite so small. There we go. Look at that nice bullish high-end close, looking for a breakout. It did not break above yesterday's 325.25, but looking for a breakout. Keep looking for an entry in this in options, and their bid and ask have been pretty far apart, so I don't want to have to play into that particular scenario, but you know, we'll keep a look at it. They'll tighten up here if it continues on. And S, so this is a newer one, Sentinel one, very interesting look here as we did this huge climb. They had their earnings, they pulled all the way back to the 20, put in a very nice little shelf here, and then pushed yesterday on some increasing volume. Look for a test of that 73.41. Okay, that is it. Remember, lots of data here. This watch list could be completely thrown out the window. Totally okay. If it doesn't meet your plan, don't just keep trying and trying to find something. Take the day off. You don't have to trade every day to be a successful trader. In fact, I would argue that knowing the days you shouldn't trade might make you one of the best traders. All right, everyone, have an awesome day, and I'll hope to see you in the chat room and trade with you soon.